You call me out upon the waters, burn through the fiercest drought and storm. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Through the storm, He is Lord, Lord of all.
The storms of life. It's a tired and old metaphor. It's overused and it makes all our songs sound the same. Is that how you feel? I mean, it's used in a lot of songs nowadays. I asked this question to my friends on Instagram. Would they agree with me that this stormy metaphor comes up a lot in our worship songs that we sing at church? And here's the results, and it seems like they do agree with me on the whole. But you might say that's a small data set. I haven't got many friends, and they probably all think the same as me anyway. So is there a more objective way that we can look at it? Well, what I did next was look at the top 100 songs according to CCLI, and I copied all those lyrics into one big Word document, which took absolutely ages. And it appears that almost 1 in 4 of those songs have some reference to storms, or sea, or water. I'm sure you can think of other songs as well that you sing that use this stormy metaphor, either newer songs or older hymns. So surely all this evidence points towards lazy songwriting. I wanted to make a video which is just slating all of those songs. So I started looking into it, and I've been on a journey, and I want to take you there with me. We sing this metaphor in our songs at church so often. How do we think about it? If I'm honest, the first thing my mind jumps to is Jesus walking on water and calming the storm. Peter coming to walk on the water with him. That's where my mind jumps to first. But if we start there, we've started way too late. We're jumping in the deep end. What does the Bible say? Is this a metaphor that's used in the Bible? And how often is it used? As I was looking into this, I came across this podcast by the Bible Project, and it took me on a deep dive. The Bible is flooded with sea and ocean metaphors. From Genesis chapter 1, where the Spirit of God hovers over the chaotic waters, through to Exodus 15, where Moses and the people of God sing a song after they've passed through the Red Sea. Into the Psalms, there's Psalm 18. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. The conclusion then? It seems in the Bible that seas and storms are used as a metaphor for death and danger. And more often than not, it's humans who are threatening those things. You can see another example in Isaiah chapter 17. Woe to the many nations that rage. They rage like the raging sea. Woe to the peoples who roar. They roar like the roaring of great waters. Although the peoples roar like the roar of surging waters, when he rebukes them, they flee far away. And this metaphor of seas and storms continues right throughout the Bible, into the New Testament, the Gospels, the letters, and Revelation, the last book of the Bible. In the penultimate chapter, chapter 21, verse 1, it says this: Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. Some people have said, I quite like the sea. Will there not be the sea in the new creation? Well, this is using that metaphor again. When Jesus returns, there'll be no more death and no more danger for God's people. That's what we look forward to in the new creation. And throughout the Bible, you also get the counterpoint of the metaphor. Rather than seas and storms, you get a picture of the solid rock or a mountain being high up and removed from the waters.
Why do we even use metaphors? Why can't we just say what we mean? Well, I'm not sure we can help ourselves. For example, we think of life as a journey. We talk about progress as taking steps forward. When we think about hard decisions, we think about being at the crossroads. We think in metaphors. And when we do, we usually use physical things to help us understand abstract realities. It helps us to understand. It helps us to feel the truth and the reality of something. It gives us a deeper and more rich experience.
So perhaps it's not so bad that we use this metaphor so often in our songs at church. As Christians, we're surrounded by death and danger. So it's right that we should sing of clinging to Christ in the midst of all these storms. But do we understand it rightly as we're singing, as the Bible would have us understand it? Or have we detached ourselves from the biblical metaphor and left ourselves rudderless? If metaphors are supposed to give us a richer and fuller experience, they're supposed to help us understand and feel the truth, are we shooting ourselves in the foot if we don't use the full range of metaphors that the Bible uses? On the other hand, are there metaphors that we use too much, like chains being broken or things being on fire? Here's another question. Are the songs we sing using metaphors in the right way? Are they narrowing things down to help us understand things and feel the right truth? Or instead, are they broadening things out so that anyone and everyone can interpret them however they please? So there's a few thoughts about why our songs in church seem to have so many nautical metaphors. I'm praying that it helps you cling to Christ as you sing to Him.